Hello students, this is your English teacher Mrs. Haimavati from LPSAVANI VIDHYABHAVAN. Students, today we are going to move to our next topic, that is articles. You all might have read about articles in your previous class, but today we will discuss something more about this topic, in which we will come to know about classification of articles, usage of articles, omission of articles. So you all know that a and the are the articles and they are used with the nouns. They are used to point out things, people, animals and places. So a and the are the articles which are used with the nouns in order to point out the things, people, animals and places. For example, he gave a book to read. Here a book, a is an article. The bicycle that my dad gave me is red in color. So the is an article which is used before the noun bicycle. Give me an apple to eat. So these are the examples of articles. Articles are divided into two types, that is definite article, indefinite articles. Okay, so in definite articles come the and indefinite article a and article an. Now let's discuss indefinite articles a and an. A is used before singular countable noun that begins with a consonant sound. So you have to remember that A's are used before a singular countable noun. Countable noun we have already discussed. What do you mean by countable nouns? Singular countable noun that begins with a consonant sound. So consonant sound means other than vowels, the consonants which are there. So if the noun begins with that consonant sound, then we have to use article a. Example, a man, a baby, a European, a university. If you see in this, a European, a university, in the word European begins with E and university begins with U. But why we have used article A? Because they begin with the consonant sound YU, that is U. If you see here, the sound is consonant sound, that is U, European, university. Okay, for that only we have used article A for it. So though the sound is a consonant sound, even though the noun begins with a vowel, the sound is a consonant sound. That is the reason we have to use article A. Next, an is used before a singular countable noun which begins with a vowel sound. So we use an before a singular countable noun which begins with a vowel sound. A is used before the noun which begins with consonant sound, and an is used before singular countable noun which begins with a vowel sound. For example, an American, an R, an MP. Though R begins with consonant H, it begins with a vowel sound since H remains silent. If you see here, an R, H is a consonant, but when we pronounce it, it begins with a vowel sound, that is an R. H remains silent. Here H remains silent and it begins with a vowel sound. Next example is an MP. Here also the noun begins with a consonant, but the sound is a vowel sound. The sound is MP, EMPEE, MP. So that is the reason we have to use article an here. Now we will discuss when we use articles a and an. Articles a and an are used in following cases. First is to refer to any single object or person, but not particular. So if you see, we use article a and an to refer to any single, not particular object or person. For example, I want to eat a banana from that bunch. She wants to buy an umbrella from this lot. So here we refer single object like a single banana. An umbrella refers single umbrella. So in order to refer any single object or person but not particular, in that case we use articles a and an. Second is to describe the type of thing we are talking about. So when we describe a noun, at that time we use articles a and an. For example, this is a small bag. So here bag is described to be small. So in that case we use a small bag. He is an intelligent student. Student is described as intelligent, and before that we have used article an, because intelligent begins with vowel and vowel sound. So in order to describe the type of thing we are talking about, we use articles a and an. Next, to indicate a regular occurrence of something. To indicate a regular occurrence of something means that is the event which takes place for a period of time. For example, her school is open for a week for extra classes. So a week is period of time. Once a month we visit the temple. So when we visit the temple, once a month. So here we used article a for the period of time. So for regular occurrence of something or an event, in that case we use articles a and an. To indicate a whole class. So when we talk about whole class of something, means in the sense of all. So in that case we use articles a and an. An owl is wiser than a crow. So here an owl means it indicates the whole class. Is wiser than a crow. Similarly, a car is faster than a bike. So here a car, it refers to the whole class of car. Car is faster than bike. Okay. Next is speak of a profession or an occupation. So when we are talking about any profession like a doctor, an engineer, a teacher, in that case an architect, in that case we use articles a and an. For example, I want to become a doctor. Sharon's sister is a nurse. Or you can say my brother wants to be an engineer. Okay. Next rule. Use a countable noun after the word such. So when we use a countable noun after the word such, in that case we use indefinite articles, that is a and an. For example, it was such an effortless performance. Nainital is such a beautiful hill station. So here performance is a countable noun which is used after the word such. Nainital is such a beautiful hill station. Hill station is a noun, countable noun which is used after the word such. So according to the rule, when we use a countable noun after the word such, in that case we use articles a and an. This was all about indefinite articles. Now let's discuss definite articles. Definite article, the. The is a definite article which indicates a particular object, thing or person. So when we are talking about a particular object, thing or person, at that time we use definite article the. For example, the book that you gave me was interesting. So here the book means we are talking about particular book that you gave me. Okay, so the interesting book which you gave me, that particular book we are talking about. The book that you gave me was interesting. So when we talk about anything in particular, it may be object, thing or person. In that case we use definite article the. Next is when talking about something for the first time, we use an indefinite article. So indefinite article means a or an you can use. When we talk about it again, we use the definite article the. So when talking about something for the first time, so when we are talking about something for the first time, any noun for the first time, we use an indefinite article. But when we are talking about it again, in that case we use definite article the. For example, I ate an apple yesterday. So an apple, here apple is the noun. So an apple, because we are talking about apple for the first time. The apple was juicy and delicious. So I am talking about this apple only. Okay. So when we are talking about the same apple again, at that time we use article the. The apple was delicious and juicy. Which apple? The apple we talked earlier. So that apple. Now let's see where we use definite article the. Rules of use. Article the is used in following cases. First one, before uncountable nouns to identify or describe them specifically. So we use article the before uncountable nouns, nouns which we cannot count, to identify or describe them specifically. For example, the water in the jug is chilled. So in order to describe water which is in the jug, in that case we used, that is the. Water is uncountable noun. Before uncountable noun we used article the. The water in the jug is chilled. Gandhiji spoke nothing but the truth. So here truth is uncountable noun. So Gandhiji spoke nothing but the truth. Before uncountable noun we use article the. Second is before a singular countable noun that represents the whole class or is a unique common noun. So before singular countable noun that represents the whole class. For example, the cheetah is the fastest animal on the earth. So here cheetah represents the whole class. So that is why we use article the before cheetah. Next is when we talk about anything unique common noun. That is a unique common noun. In that case we use article the, like the sun, the moon, the earth, so the sky. So these are unique common noun. For example, the sun is the center of the solar system. So here sun is a unique star and we used article the before it. The sun, the moon, the earth, the sky. So any that is a unique common noun, we use article the, and when we represent the whole class, singular countable noun that represents whole class, before that we use article the. Next, before adjectives that are used as nouns. So before adjectives, adjectives are the describing words. So before adjectives, so adjectives which are used as nouns, in that case we use article the, like the young are the leaders of tomorrow. Here young means young people, okay, the young generation. So the young are the leaders of tomorrow. So here young is an adjective which is used as a noun in the sentence. The young are the leaders of tomorrow. In that case we use article the. Next is before the superlative degree of adjectives. So superlative degree of adjectives, like we know that that is in degree of adjectives we have read about, that is comparative degree, superlative degree. So that is so in adjective lesson you all might have read about degrees of comparison, in which there is positive degree, comparative degree, superlative degree. So in that case before the superlative degree of adjectives we use article the. For example, iron is the hardest metal. Hardest is the superlative degree of hard. China is the most populous country. The most is used in superlative degree. So before most we used article the. So before the superlative degree of adjectives we use article the. China is the most populous country in the world. Next is along with ordinal numbers. Ordinal numbers means like we write first, second, third. So these are ordinal numbers. So in that case we use article the. For example, the first man to land on moon was Neil Armstrong. So before ordinal numbers we use article the. Next is before the names of musical instruments. So when we are using in a sentence, when we write for musical instruments, so before the names of musical instrument we use article the, like I am learning the piano, I like to play the guitar. So in that way when we talk about, or when we that is write about musical instruments, before the names of musical instruments we use article the piano, the guitar, in that way. When we name the inhabitants of a country collectively, so in that case we use article the. So, inhabitants of a country, for example, the British ruled over India. The British ruled over India for hundreds of years. So, British means the British means we are talking about the British people. Okay. So, the British ruled over India for hundreds of years. The Sumerians were the first people to develop a written language. So, when we talk about inhabitants of a country collectively, in that case we use article the. The last one is before some proper nouns like the names of rivers, oceans, deserts, buildings, some countries, monuments, newspapers, holy books, trains, we use article the. That is when we talk about proper nouns. Names of rivers like the Ganga, the Yamuna, oceans, the Indian Ocean, deserts, the Thar Desert, buildings, some countries like the Philippines, the United Kingdom. So, in the some monuments like the Taj Mahal, the Qutub Minar, newspapers like the Times of India, the Hindu, holy books like the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible. So, in the, if trains like the Shatabdi Express, the Rajdhani Express. So, in these, for these proper nouns, we use article the. For example, have you visited the United Kingdom? Vivekananda read the Vedas. So, we used article the for some countries. Not all, for few countries we use article the. The Vedas, the Atlantic Ocean is the busiest ocean in the world. So, in these, for these proper nouns, we use article the. In the next session, we will discuss for omission of articles.